And looks like here we go. Right. Hi guys, this is Thiago from Easy to Swim. I'm here doing this live, and the plan is to do a live every Tuesday and Thursday at this time, 9 p.m. UK time. And every day we're gonna have a different subject, always related to learning to swim. It can be for kids, most of the time will be for kids, but also for adults as well. So whoever has questions, comments, or requests, please let us know on the social media. You can use Facebook, you can use YouTube, you can use Instagram, always at easy to swim dot easy to swim like this. So let me see, put it here. Always like this. So easy to swim, easy, EASY 2, number 2, swim, SWIM. So I'm just spelling it because on Instagram you can't see the banners I'm putting on the video. So here we go. Let me just do a rough, quick introduction about myself. I'm a swimming teacher. I've been teaching swimming for kids for the last almost 14 years now. I taught kids from all ages, all backgrounds. I used to do group lessons at the beginning. So imagine me with a group of 6 young, really toddlers between 2 and 3, almost 4 years old. At the beginning of my career, I taught groups of very good swimmers as well. I taught adults to learn how to swim. I also thought professional swimmers, professional triathletes, that swimming was not the strongest, let's say, the strongest of the sports that they used to do. And nowadays I teach private lessons in London. And I'm qualified swimming teacher for babies as well. So nowadays I do a lot of babies, like months old, 4, 5, 6 months old. So very early stage for learning and adaptation in the water as well. The topic for the live today, it came from this very common question I have from parents whenever they come to me asking for swim lessons, or first time they come for the first swim lesson. I very often get this question from parents: how long does it take for my child to be able to swim? So whoever's watching us on Instagram, on YouTube and Facebook, you're gonna see the banners I'm putting down below here. And on Instagram, you won't be able to see the banner, but I'm gonna emphasize whatever I'm putting on the screen. So how long does it take for my child to learn how to swim? And to relate to those parents that come for the first time swim lesson, or they had an access to a swimming teacher or whoever it is, and they want to know that, they want to know how long it's going to take for that their children to learn and to be able to swim. When we look into that question, and because I've been receiving this question from parents for all these 14 years that I've been teaching swimming, and I can relate to them, and I start to understand where does this question come from. And it's always from a place of fear. It comes from a fear, and those parents, they want to get rid of the fear. Yeah, so the fear, what's the fear about? This is a fear of, that is my child, and that is a possible swimming pool to a place where we're going on holidays, or in the club that we go to, whatever. They know that that is the pool, where is the water, and the water can be hostile to human life. So it's a risk of life if you don't know how to swim, and that is the child, and they know they cannot swim, and that is the fear, because this, anything bad can happen. As we know, bad things can happen, and they want to do something about removing that fear, and to get rid of the fear, that child has to learn how to be fully independent in the water, to be able to swim. And that's when the fear goes. So they will give something to that child, which is the skills to be able to swim, and the fear will go. And when I say I relate to that, I really relate to that. I have a daughter of 2 years old. She's in the process of learning how to be fully independent in the water by herself. And we were on holidays in Brazil from November to February. And in my mother's house, there is a swimming pool, and which is open. There's no gates. It's open, water. You walk in, you're in the water, and she was there. So, despite I'm a swimming teacher, I've been teaching her myself. She's not there yet. So that was like this background of fear with me sometimes when she was around the pool, also to me and to my wife. So I really relate to that. So parents want to get rid of the fear by giving that child the ability to be safe in the water. And so now we're going to look into the question, right? So we want to get rid of the fear, and that comes the question. Thiago, right, here we go. This is the first lesson for little Johnny, and I want to know how long it's going to take for him to be able to swim, right? So the parent wants to know how long I'm going to have to wait until I can relax and not having this fear with me when we go on holidays, when we are in a pool, in a lake, whatever they are. That's this pool of water, and which is risky for human life. And the way I'm going to try to answer this question, I'm going to divide this question into parts. So the first part of the question will be, how long does it take? So when we're looking into how long does it take, they want to know a time scale. Give me, Thiago, give me something to relate to as a time-based, so I can see if it's something I can manage. For example, is this going to be 3 months? Is this going to be 6 months? Is this going to happen in 1 year? So we're going to talk about the two other parts of the question later on. But now I just want to distinguish that this part of the question is related to timescale, and it really depends on how often that child is going to be exposed to the water in a kind of a swimming teaching environment. So let's say this is little Johnny coming for his first lesson, his first swimming lesson, has never been in the water before, and he's 2 years old, and the mother asked me, like, how long is it going to take? And little Johnny is going to do 1 time a week swimming lesson for 30 minutes. Yeah, so that's when we're looking into how long does it take. So what's the time frame for that little Johnny, never been in the water before, once a week, 30 minutes swimming lessons, and that's it. That's all the exposure to the water is going to have until he's able to swim. So when we're looking into that, we need to take these into consideration. Yeah, 30 minutes, once a week, and that's it. Let's say there is someone else comes. Let's say let's invent another name. So little Charlie, same, very similar situation here. Little Charlie is 2 years old, and the parents have a pool at home, or have access to a swimming pool next to where they live, and the parents take Charlie for swim, to be in the water in the swimming pool every Saturday from 9 to 10. And Charlie's coming for swimming lesson as well. So he's going to have 30-minute swimming lessons per week, plus 1 hour every Saturday with the parents, just being in the water, showing whatever he's learning in the swimming lesson, but just being in the water. So those two scenarios, those two different children, we're going to look into completely different time scale for how long they're going to take to be able to swim. We're not talking yet about the specific child and let's say the ability they already have, the personality, and etc. Just taking two very similar children, let's say, but one is going to have only 30 minutes exposure to the water per week, and the other one is going to have 30 minutes of swimming lesson plus 1 hour with their parents every Saturday. So the second one, little Charlie, is going to have that time with the parents as well in the swimming pool. He's probably going to learn a lot faster. So the time scale is a lot less. The time frame is a lot less because of especially at the beginning, when a child is learning to swim, just by being in the water with the splashes, with the movement of the water, how the body responds in the water, all of that happens kind of automatically. You don't really need to be, let's say, we don't need to describe what's happening. It's an automatic feeling, like when they learn to walk, for example. So I'm all the time coming back to the phone now, because it's live on Instagram, but every 2 minutes I see the screen just going black, and I'm tapping just to make sure all the lights are on and you can see me well, you can hear me well. Okay, so then I just want you to phrase that. I want you to distinguish this. Okay, time, how long does it take? It can vary according to how much exposure to the water that child is going to have. So the second part of the question is, how long does it take to my child? So we're talking here about a specific individual, yeah? So my child could be little Johnny, could be little Charlie, could be whoever it is. And that child, all those children, they will be very different from each other. Talking about personality, so there are kids who are very they're kind of, let's say, cautious when coming to try new things, especially physically, running, jumping, or jumping from a high place, or splashing in the water, splashing their face in the water. There are kids who are kind of natural with that, and there are kids who are a bit more cautious. So just talking about this specific detail here, we know there is a range of personality and characteristics of any children. And what I want to point out here is, despite, let's say one little Johnny is a very he's very like upgoing. He's the one that he's not afraid at all. The parents are always running after him because he climbs the sofa at home and he jumps from high places. He has no sense of fear, right? that will be a very good thing for when he's learning to swim, because I can see a child like that just, but having completely blessed time, like having such a great time in the water, splashing, going the face in the water, and etc. And but also can be kind of dangerous when this child is next to a swimming pool. But one can speed up the other, and that is, let's say, little Charlie is going to be the cautious one, right? So he splashed the water. He doesn't like the water coming in his face. He turned his face out. So it might take a bit longer for him just to get used to the water on his face, water in the eyes, or getting the face close to the water surface to start to blow bubbles to breathe out, for example. So to answer that question, we also need to take into consideration every specific individual. And one of the things I do when I first time swim lesson and the parents ask me that, I always say, like, I need to do an assessment with your child. I need to see how he's going to respond, firstly with me, but secondly, how he's going to respond when we in the water, when we're splashing around, when I'm going to ask him to get his face close to the water, and then I'm probably going to be able to give you a more accurate answer to that question. And one more thing that's very important to mention here when we're talking about the very all specific individual in terms to talking about children is has that child had any prior experience with swimming lessons? Was that experience positive? Was that experience negative? Has that child had any bad experience, any accident in the swimming pool, during holidays, in a friend's house? So all of that has to be taken into consideration as well. And also, one very important thing that I don't think many people are aware of: what is the background of the parents about fear or confidence in the water? Normally, when parents are very confident in water, they don't have to be excellent swimmers or very good swimmers, but they are very confident in the water. They go to swimming pools. They know how to submerge. They can swim. They naturally take the children with them without expressing fear. So that's very positive. But when parents are not confident in water, they have some fear, let's say, they're afraid, they might get in the water, but they're afraid. Normally what they're going to do when they get with their children in the water is to hold them tight, because they have a fear of, if something happens to me, it's bad, but if it happens to me when I'm having my child with me in the water, it can be 2 times as bad. So they tend to hold their child really tight when they in the water, and that's a message being sent to their children that their environment is not safe for them. So, and these information about how confident the parents are in the water, or if they have any fear, if they have any bad experience in the past, also is very important to determine how efficient the swimming lessons will be for that child. So the first 2 parts of the question is gone, and now is the third and probably the most important part of that question, right? So how long does it take for my child to swim? So to swim is to perform a specific task in the water. And when I say, oh, I want to learn how to swim, or my child knows how to swim, or I've learned how to swim, we can get like 20 people talking about swimming. I can swim. I was taught to swim, or I know how to swim. We can get 20 people talking about swimming, and they all giving very different specifications, a different picture of what swimming is. And to be able to answer that question, I had to to really paint a picture, to describe it to the parents, to see if that picture that I'm painting for them, right, swimming is this. Is that something they relate to be able to swim? And when they say yes, okay, we're talking about the same thing. When they say no, then we need to clarify, to get on terms, to be very specific about what we're going to be working on, what we're going to be working towards to. And one example I can give you is if someone says, "Oh, I can ride a bike, I can drive a car," you can now really have that image in your head, like of someone on a bicycle, two wheels, holding on the handles, feet on the pedals, pedaling the bike is going forward, and the person is not falling. You probably have that picture. But when we say to swim, we can have totally like different answers. Maybe one is going to say, oh, to be able to swim, you just have to go from point A to point B with your head above the water doing like dog paddle. So that's swim. Maybe for someone else would be, oh, to be able to swim, you're going to have to be able to go under the water, down all the way to the bottom of the pool, cross the pool, and be able to go to the other side. You must go down. So I just want you to highlight that we can get like completely different answers or completely different ideas of what to be able to swim is like. Okay, so my example, how do you, Thiago, how do you describe what is it, what is to be able to swim? So especially when I'm talking about children, this is the way I design. Okay, this is not coming from a book, it's not the absolute truth about swimming. This is the way I created, I invented, so I can describe to the parents when I talking to them about how we're going to go with the swimming lessons and etc. Just to be able to describe and to have an easy picture, so we have a relation of what we driving towards to. And the picture is, so imagine again, let's take little Johnny again for this example. Little Johnny comes to a swimming pool. So this swimming pool is a very deep swimming pool. It's like 3 meters deep. And little Johnny comes to the pool side. He stands on the pool side, and then he jumps in. He's submerged, blowing bubbles. He comes back to surface. Take a good breath above the water, and then what he does is he goes on his back and kick all the way back to the pool side again, or he comes up, so he jumped, he's under the water blowing bubbles, he comes up, he takes a big breath, and then he goes with his face down and swim back to the border, climb out, turn around, and be ready to do it all over again with a smile on his face. So that's little Johnny. That's the picture I'm painting. Child jumps, blow bubbles, comes up, take a breath, either front or back, swim back to the border, climbs out, and that's it. So this is the picture that I got, like the feedback from parents, like, okay, if my child can do that, I'll be able to relax. So I'm not saying here I'm going to leave my child unattended in a very deep swimming pool or lake, whatever. No. What I'm painting the picture here is with the ability to do those things, jumping, blowing bubbles, coming up, swimming back to the border. That child is able to be fully independent in the water. Parents will be attending, will be next to them, in the water or out of the water, but they can watch and start to see the development from there just taking off. And that gives a lot of confidence for the child. When they achieve that and they see they can do that, It's like a boost of confidence. So many times I've seen children that used to be, when I'm training a child to be able to do that, like holding on to me, child, no, I don't want to do it by myself, blah, blah. And then they come to a point when they see they can do that by themselves. And then I'm going to, okay, so now I'm going to do the next thing. I'm going to hold them. No, no, let me go. Let me go. I don't need you anymore. Now I know how to swim. I don't need you anymore, Chuck. So stay away, stay away. It's a boost of confidence. It's amazing. So that's the picture, okay? And that picture, actually, let me show you something. I have a video here, so people on Instagram won't be able to see it, but on YouTube and Facebook, you're gonna be able to see what I'm going to show now. So bear with me. I'm learning how to work on this thing here. So I'm going to share. My idea is to share. Okay, let's share a screen. Share the screen. We're gonna go into this. Okay, I hope it's that one. So this is the one I'm sharing, and the video is not ready. Okay, do you know what? Let's leave it, because the video is not ready, and it should be, unless I can get it quickly here. Let's see. There's a video. I have a presentation about all the swimming lessons. You know what? Forget. I don't think I'm going to be able to get. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able. But I'm probably going to share a video of this on my social medias, Instagram and Facebook and YouTube as well. So the video is going to show is just a child on the poolside doing exactly what I described. So jumping in the water, very deep swimming pool, so they cannot reach the bottom of the pool. They go down nice and easy, breathing out, so full breath control. Coming up to the surface, take a deep breath, I take a big breath, and then swimming back to the border, climbing out, and doing it again. So to be able to do that, I say that child needs to acquire 4 skills. Okay, again, this is something I've designed to be able to deliver that to the child and to the parents that I'm in contact with. So 4 skills. The first skill is the breath control. So when the child jumps in the water and starts to breathe out, either through the nose or through the mouth, I tend to teach them to breathe out through the nose. That shows breath control, breathing out. Controlling the breathing out until they're able to emerge back to surface. Come back to surface. They fill up the lungs again. So new air comes in. Breath control. So skill number 1. Skill number 2 they need to learn is flotation. So now they're on the surface. Okay, they're gonna go either on the back, on the front, but they're gonna go with the body on a horizontal position. I think I've lost people on Instagram. Have I? Post due to poor connection. Okay, that's interesting. It might be that. Are we live? You know what's going on. Right. Looks like looks like I'm back live on Instagram, or was not. Anyway, I'm figuring out this as I go along. So that first skill is breath control. Second skill, flotation. So they're floating with the body horizontal, either on the front, so looking down, or on the back, right? So they need to be in that position to move from point A to point B, right? So flotation. I'm gonna go either on the front, on the back, and that's when comes the third skill, which is propulsion. So they're gonna start to kick or even move the arms as well. So at this stage, arms or legs helping to propel the body from point A to point B, either on the front or on the back. Okay, so then we have already three skills: breath control, flotation, and propulsion. I have a helicopter somewhere around here. Don't know if the noise is disturbing you guys. I hope it's not. And then the fourth skill is what I call treading water. So at that moment when they jump in and they're coming back to the surface and they're going to take a breath or they're going to look around to see where the nearest poolside is, that's when they're treading water to keep the head above the water. So they can breathe, they can communicate. Daddy, I'm coming to you. Mommy, I'm going this way. And they go on the front, kicking all the way back to the poolside. They climb out, and they say, "Oh, look at me! I'm going to do it again." And they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 500 times. As you know, kids can do that. So when we build up those skills, yeah, and we can paint that picture of the child being able to jump, and that's what I call swim. Okay, now your child acquired those 4 skills. They are able to swim. They are able to be fully independent in the water, right? So I normally describe that way: fully independent in the water now. And right, so now, child, can you answer my question? How long it's going to take? So I tend to say, for average, average. Again, we're talking about, we have to take into consideration the different individuals, but on average, 10 hours per skill. So 10 hours per skill. We have four skills. We're talking about 40 hours. 40 hours for a child to be able to get that to the 4 skills and to be fully independent in the water. So if little Johnny is doing 30-minute swimming lesson per week, it's going to take little Johnny 8 weeks. So we're talking about a year and a half of swimming lessons once a week. So 30 minutes once a week. In 8 weeks, more or less, an average of 8 weeks, that child will be able to be fully independent in the water. But let's go back to Charlie. So Charlie is doing 30-minute swimming lessons plus 60 minutes of being in the water, practicing what he's learning in the swimming pool with the swimming teacher. So every Saturday, another 60 minutes with their parents. Every single Saturday, every week, 30 minutes swimming lesson, 60 minutes with the parents in the water. So that child will take more or less 18 months. I mean, 8 months. So not a year and a half. So little Johnny is going to take a year and a half, but Charlie is going to take more or less 8 months. So it decreases the time. So that's one of the things I always say to the parents. If you can, and if you want to speed up, if you want to get rid of that fear, spend time with your child in the water. You have no idea how much you can contribute to give to your child that life skill that's forever there. Right? It's not only your fear that's gone. That child will be able to enjoy water, to go on boat trips with their friends in the future, and not having to be sitting on the side because he's afraid of the water, has been afraid of the water for his whole life. Okay? So again, all those pictures, all those ideas that an average and all Thiago lose data. It's all information I got from years of experience. So I hope this has helped you somehow to get an idea and maybe to be inspired to take your child to be in a swimming pool and being confident that just spending time with that child in the water will help so much for them to get to that stage where they're fully independent. Okay, so if you have any suggestions, any questions, let me know on the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube. So I have to remind myself all the time that, and I'll be pleased to help, and also it might give me some idea for future reference. Okay, so I'm signing off now. Thanks for your patience, and I'll see you next Tuesday.